9/11, one of the most defining events of the modern world, and also the center of some of the most persistent conspiracy theories ever created. Today, we are not here to debunk, judge, or attack anyone's beliefs. Instead, we are taking a step back and exploring why two of the biggest theories exist and how people try to prove them: the inside job theory and the hijackers still alive theory. Let's start with the one that refuses to die: the idea that 9/11 was an inside job. The core of this theory is timing. After 9/11, the US government gained exactly what conspiracy believers say it needed: expanded surveillance powers, wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and a reshaped Middle East strategy.
Of all the regions of the world that underwent a fundamental change in terms of U.S. policy, it was the Middle East that perhaps experienced the most. Very quickly after the attacks on September 11th, decision makers in the State Department and other parts of the government reviewed our policy of the previous decades and came to the conclusion that authoritarian stability, that is, relying on authoritarian leaders in the region to help create a political order that made it relatively easier for the United States to pursue its interests in the region, was perhaps no longer appropriate, and that what went on inside of Arab countries was directly related to U.S. national security.
Some people point to a 1990s document called the PNAC Report, the Project for a New American Century. In it, there's a line that conspiracy communities obsess over: a catastrophic and catalyzing event like a new Pearl Harbor. To them, this isn't a coincidence, it's foreshadowing. Another thing believers latch onto is the long list of intelligence warnings that came before the attacks: briefings, memos, intercepted plans, pieces of a puzzle that, in hindsight, look clear. If there were so many warnings, how could a superpower miss all of it? Some say that's incompetence. Conspiracy theorists say it's intentional. Then there's the physical element: the collapse of the Twin Towers, and especially WTC 7. To believers, the free fall like collapse, symmetrical descent, and the sudden nature look too engineered, too perfect. They compare it to the controlled demolition videos, they analyze frame by frame, forums, documentaries, subreddits. Thousands of people spent years studying angle shots, dust patterns, building blueprints. For them, this isn't chaos, this is design. Whether you agree or disagree, one thing is undeniable: every detail of 9/11, politically, militarily, architecturally, is complex. And in complex events, patterns appear, sometimes by planning, sometimes simply by perspective. The second theory is less known but just as fascinating: the belief that some of the 19 hijackers didn't actually die that day because they never boarded the plane to begin with. Right after 9/11, international media rushed to publish the identities of the hijackers and created chaos. Arabic names are incredibly common, and reporters under pressure mixed up identities. Several men with the same names as the hijackers appear on TV saying, "I'm alive, I have nothing to do with this." For believers, this was a spark. The idea evolved into something bigger. If these men are alive, then who were the hijackers? Some point to claims of stolen passports. Others argue the media exposed the wrong individuals. A few take it further. They say the entire list was manufactured. In any event as massive as 9/11, there's information overload: names, faces, timelines. And when early mistakes happen, they stick. Believers freeze the world in those first 48 hours. Those confused reports become evidence. Those interviews become clues. But here's a different way to look at it. When a story is global and breaking and emotionally catastrophic, mistakes aren't a conspiracy, they are human. Still, for those seeking alternative explanations, those mistakes become the foundation of an entire theory. So, why do these theories survive more than 2 decades later? Because 9/11 wasn't just an event, it was a rupture in the world. Something so enormous that many people feel the official story couldn't possibly explain the chaos, the coincidences, the politics, and the aftermath. Today wasn't about proving or disproving anything. It was about looking at these theories the way believers do, through patterns, timing, psychology, and unanswered questions. Whether you accept them or not, they remind us of one thing: when history changes the world overnight, the search for deeper meaning never really ends.